set up a gallery page that will use buttons to go to and run some clips. So let's start and create a button. So on this layer, we'll call it, click, we'll call it button 1. And we need to create an image for the button. So you can use anything. It's just creating a symbol out of it. So we'll use a rectangle symbol and select it. Double click to select it. And right click, convert to symbol, and we want to use the button option. And we'll call this image 1 BT. So we'll start a naming convention that we know what's a button and what's a movie clip. So click OK. It'll show up in our library as a button. This icon is telling me it's a button. If I double click on this, I can set up the states for the button. So we have up, over, hit, and down. So we want to right click and set a keyframe for each of the states. Insert keyframe. Insert keyframe. And insert keyframe. Now you just need to change what you do on each of the states, and that's what will happen. So we're just going to change the color to make it easy at the moment so we can see the workflow. Go into color. So for the over, we'll make it an orange. For the down, so up, over, down, and we'll create another color here, blue, and then of course hit is whatever transitions to. So that's the setup for the button. Now we're going to click on this arrow to go back to the timeline. Now we want to create a clip that the button will launch. So create a new layer for this. And we'll just use another box. Click and drag. Or you can bring in any object into your library. You just need to convert it to a movie clip. So let's click and drag again. Wait for the computer to catch up. Let's try a circle. Maybe it's just being cranky. Okay. So in this case, we're going to put an image in here. So instead of solid color, we're going to do bitmap fill and pick an image. So I'll take the Mockingbird image. And if it's getting cropped, you can resize it with the gradient fill tool. So that's the free transform tool, and it happens to be docked below that. So if you click on the arrow to see what's docked underneath, you can get to the free for the gradient fill tool. There we go. And now we can scale this image in so it fits within the circle. Position it a little better. So we want to convert this to a symbol and make it a movie clip symbol. So double click to select it. Right click, convert to symbol. And we want movie clip. And we'll call this, don't want button, we want movie clip. Fade in image. So now this will show up in our library as a movie clip. So let's set up the movie clip so that it fades in. Double click on this, just like the button, we can get into the lower level and set up layering of animation. There we go. So going to the Properties panel, going to insert keyframes, insert frames, and then this last one will be keyframe. And our color effects, we want to go to color effects. And you can choose an alpha channel to fade in. So we'll bring this up to 100%. So now as it goes through this timeline, this is just way too slow. Get rid of all this, do it again. Cut frames. Insert frames. Insert frame. insert keyframe, color effect, alpha, 100%, after frame 1, okay. So now it'll fade. Let's remove this keyframe. Let's do this. Create a classic queen. Now it should fade in. Okay, and then at frame 10, we want to stop this playback. So we're going to go into the action editor and choose stop at this frame. So we want to get a code snippet, stop at this frame. This computer is just not equipped for this. Stop at this frame, and the code should plop in here. Close the window, close the window. Let's see if we can refresh this. We'll do File, Save As. On frame 10, let's open up the Actions window again. Code snippet, timeline navigation, action script, timeline and navigation. Stop at this frame, double click to enter the code into the action script. I am just going to save this and open it up again. Close the software. Open the software. let's go to our didn't save the image. Okay, so right click, convert to symbol, movie clip. So we'll click on the movie clip. Extend the frames. Insert frame. Insert keyframe. Create classic tween. On frame 10. Actions. Code snippet. Action script. Timeline and navigation. Stop at this frame. Code plops in. Just move this out of the way for now. Then you go back to your timeline. We didn't create the fade, so let's go back in here. Double click to open. Wait 10 years. Go into properties. Click on the image. Color effect. Alpha. At 100%. Go to frame 1. Alpha, bring it down to 0. Now this will be a fade-in animation. Go back to the timeline. Now we want to create another layer that will hold keyframes for play. So we'll just set a few frames if you have images, so you can insert frames, and each frame will make a keyframe to hold a different image. And on frame 5, we'll go to our library and we will bring in our movie clip. And we can see it because it's there, but we won't see the image until it plays. So on our button, we will add the code. Go to frame and stop. We'll click in here. And now if you click on the button, it should go to frame 5 and play the fade in. So we don't need this frame anymore. We can get rid of that layer. And Get our snippets here. Go to frame 5 and stop, and then stop at this frame is for the end of it, and then it's got to play. Let's just try and load this in again. So you would change this number to whatever frames, whatever movie clip you want to play. It would be on a different image. So let's go back to the button. Click on the button. Code snippet. Okay, go to frame 5 and stop. So now it fades in, so it will run the button. So I'm fighting this computer right now because of storage issues and memory issues, and every time I click a button, it takes a minute for it to catch up. So you want to make sure that when you're working on these things that you have good hardware and that the software runs on it. Otherwise, you'll be going through what you've watched me go through, which is I do something and I have to wait to see if it's working, and then I have to log out of the software to refresh and to log back on. So this computer that I'm working on has some issues. It needs storage space and memory upgrades, but in any effect, you would create numerous buttons as you do your layout for your gallery, and each button can be on its own layer, and it would refer back to each frame that holds a different